Hi, Dr. Terlep here with our first installment of our video blog that we've entitled 5 Minutes to Vitality. Each week we're going to cover a germane health topic that hopefully you'll find interesting and informative. So today we're actually talking a little bit about a blog that we'd actually written that's on our website, drterlep.com, currently, and it's regarding genetics. And it was actually published recently in a journal called Nature Communications. And what they covered was a couple of thousand women relative to nutrition and pregnancy. Now, that might sound like a pretty mundane topic. We all know eat well, baby's healthier. That's all great. But what they were looking at was how the food that moms eat actually affects the genetic expression of a baby. Now, that's really great because what we've actually seen is we've had that in animals, but it's never been demonstrated in people before. What we actually found in this study was that certain types of food, they took blood, of course, from mom, and then they took hair samples and blood samples from the babies, and they had three different groups that they looked at. And what they found was specific food groups and specific types of foods and nutrients would turn off or turn on certain genes. So what we actually found was that, yes, moms can get a craving for, funny things, Mexican food, hot spicy food, Thai food, whatever it would be. But what we're finding is that specific foods affect the way the genes work. They have a fancy thing called tagging, which actually is a thing called methyl groups, really kind of doesn't matter what they're called, that actually turns these genes, and not just for the moment, but for a lifetime. So the implication is that literally it can affect the way the gene works when a baby who is actually newly born, right, is 50 years old, 60 years old, 90 years old. Can affect whether a gene that might cause cancer actually gets turned on or off based on what mom eats. Pretty exciting stuff. We know that in research looking at animals, we can affect the color of a mouse, his fur color. We can affect eye color by the foods we eat, not by manipulating the gene directly, and not by having colored foods either. I had one doctor was speaking with because what were they feeding them? Salmon? They came out orange? Not at all. It's actually by the nutrients that are there affecting the gene, whether it turns on or turns off. Amazing. It's a fancy thing called an epigenome. We all know that genes and our DNA are what affect the expression in our bodies, can affect our health, can affect hair color, eye color, height, weight. There's all kinds of neat stuff, right? But these genes then have this thing called an epigenome. And an epigenome is something where there's a protein substance that sits on top of the gene. And this actually functions like a marionette, if you will. This is the puppet, this becomes the puppeteer. And it actually affects whether or not that's what affects it. So if I'm a 50-year-old guy, and indeed I am, can I affect my gene expression through what I eat in my lifestyle, through this epigenome? And the answer is yes. Matter of fact, the answer is dramatically yes, right? And now we're seeing that what mom eats affects who we are. There's also research that actually shows, we haven't seen this in humans yet, but animal research that shows that what dads eat affects the DNA contribution to the baby and affects that epigenome again dramatically. So pretty exciting stuff when it comes to eating. So what we kind of jokingly said, you are what you eat, but you're also what mom ate. So if you're pregnant, really watch what you eat and do a great job, because my goodness gracious, we're affecting our offspring in ways we never imagined. Really appreciate your watching and look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.